Hello, I'm Zach,
I'm Gabby.
and this is your Monday Market Update. Today, we're going to be talking about unemployment, home appreciation, and our current supply.
We're also going to be doing a statistics spotlight on current days on market. Prior to the pandemic, listings would sit on the market for about 30, 40, 50, or even 60 days. However, with the COVID market frenzy, days on market plummeted. In November of 2020, we hit 30 days on market, which is already below the average and what it had been in the past. But in June of 2021, we hit a record low of 16 days on market. That's just incredible.
Yeah.
Just recently, we saw days on market spike back up in July of 2022 to 25 days on market. Well, this has stirred up some panic within sellers when they see their home sit on the market for 2 weeks. Because they've been hearing for months stories about sellers that got $50,000 over their asking price with 10 to 20 offers, all in just a few days.
We're here to tell you there's no reason to panic. Let's look at this graph for some perspective. So at the beginning of 2019, you kind of see that we're sitting at above 60 days on market. And then as 2020 starts, things are still about normal. And then towards the end of 2020 and throughout 2021, things just take a sharp fall down. We're below 20 days towards the middle of 2021. And now if you look all the way to the right of the graph, you kind of see this beginning of an upward trend. And that's where we're at right now, as we're starting to see days on market increase and we're starting to see houses sit on the market a little bit longer.
While it's unfortunate that we're not quite getting the insane offers that we were in those COVID times, we're still in a seller's market.
Yeah.
And there's still so much money to be made in the sale of your home if you do so in the right way. And what do I mean by that? Well, you don't want to be one of those sellers and have one of those listings that just sits on the market because you tried to test a shifting market. What usually happens with that is we see price reductions, and that just is a snowball effect, and you're constantly chasing the market then instead of making the money that you deserve. And so here's what you do to avoid that. You get a good realtor. A good realtor that's gonna have the hard conversations with you, like buyers are gonna look closely at your home. With the inventory going up, you have a lot of competition. And so you may wanna consider painting those walls of that room that are bright yellow or bright green, because that's not exactly the trend right now, and nor is it super desirable. They're also gonna have these super hard conversations with you, like, no, the Zillow's estimate is not a good basis of where to list your home. We want to look at comparables, things that have sold in the past 30 and 60 days that are like homes to yours in your area. For more tips on how to list your home in the shifting market, check out my video, Seller Do's and Don'ts.
Now here's some excellent info when looking at the market holistically. Unemployment is now at 3.5%, which is back to pre-pandemic levels, which is a great thing. And in a historical context, that's extremely low. On that note, labor sentiment is strong, which means people aren't worried about losing their jobs, which further strengthens the market. That was one of the biggest issues in 2008. A lot of people lost their jobs and then they couldn't afford their mortgage payments. So that, coupled with poor lending standards, led to a huge wave of foreclosures. We're in a completely different environment today. Let's look at this chart from Keep Your Current Matters. Experts updated their home price appreciations for the rest of the year, and they've pretty much doubled across the board with an average projection of 10% appreciation.
So while rates aren't quite as attractive as they were when they were super low, like the threes, they're still relatively low, and the bonus is that home prices are expected to increase at an even greater rate.
Exactly. And another trend we're seeing as a result of increased days on market, supply is growing. Here's a chart from the National Association of Realtors, which pretty much explains where we're at with our inventory. We're at 3 months of inventory, which is much greater than what we've seen over the past couple of years. Although we're not quite in a buyer's market yet, increased supply is great news for buyers. Keep an eye out for inventory. 6 to 7 months is considered a neutral market, although we're not expected to reach that anytime soon due to various issues that we could touch on in another video. The higher that number goes, the more power that buyers begin to possess.
Thanks for tuning in to today's Market Update Monday. I'm Gabby.
I'm Zach, and like and follow for more.